My name is Mona Ramonetti. I am head of scholarly communications at Stony Brook University Libraries. I am also the liaison to the Life Sciences Department and Stony Brook's OER campus lead.
Okay, and could you tell the students a little bit about open access and OER?
Okay. My primary responsibilities revolve around open access and open educational services, acronym being OER, and the acronym for open access is OA. There are lots of other facets under the scholarly communications umbrella, but I will concentrate on these two today. The open access movement started a little over 20 years ago, and basically it is a social justice movement in the sense that of making scholarly information, articles, journals, what have you, available to everybody worldwide at no cost. And the reason for this push was a lot of the Western countries, a lot of the Western institutions within the Western countries were benefiting greatly academically because they were able to afford access to the most recent relevant information to various fields, various disciplines, I should say, in the scholarly environment. And so lots of nations within in other parts of the world were not able to have access to this. And so a lot of their information, a lot of that they needed for their research or what have you, or their academic endeavors, were largely outdated. So there's this inequity that inherently exists because of this. So what Stony and many institutions throughout the world, they said, look, you know, we need to correct this. And a number of institutions within worldwide and in the United States as well have put forward policies, open access policies that say, look, as academics, we will be putting up our research, our data, our articles, what have you, our academic materials on a platform that will be openly accessible to everybody. And one of the reasons that a lot of academics have done this, and researchers, really, especially those who have received a lot of aid from in the forms of grants, government-funded grants, is one of the stipulations is that you have to make this information available. So the process of getting this information out is, you know, you have the government funding your research, you generate this research and you send it out in the form of an article, and you submit it to a publisher. Now the publisher is not a government publisher by any means. This is a publisher that is there to make a profit off of this information. So where does the library come in with this? We are the ones that subscribe to these publishers. We pay millions, billions of dollars so we can have our researchers, our academics, our students can have access to this. And again, when you think about it, these are taxpayer dollars that are starting the process, but then now the taxpayer dollars now have to pay to get access to this. So the main push for this is to stop this and to make this accessible for everybody. So that is that's open access in a nutshell. In terms of open educational resources and how it affects students, in 2017, in support of Governor Cuomo's Excelsior initiative, grant initiative, the Suny Open Educational Initiative was implemented. And both Suny and CUNY institutions were given a sum of money to help support this initiative. And basically it was for instructors to create content or to use openly accessible content in their coursework. And in doing so, they would reduce the student cost output in obtaining textbooks, what have you, course materials, by 50 or more percent, down to zero, down to free. So the students don't have that additional challenge of trying to get access to this information that they need in order to do their work. And the rationale for this initiative was, here we are, the Excelsior program is bringing students to campus, where they're supporting getting them to campus and getting them up and running. But another challenge that students were facing was actually getting access, being able to afford this information, the coursework, the textbooks. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I know most students are encountering this. And how students responded to this was basically not buying the materials, going into further debt to obtain the materials, or some creative ways of accessing it that that might cross some legal lines. So this initiative was put in place to help mitigate these challenges, these financial challenges a lot of students were encountering. At Stony Brook right now, we have about 40 plus OER courses that are available since 2017. What I encourage students to do is, I think actually one of the offices, I think is the Office of Research, and the name escapes me right now. They are actually tagging these courses, these OER courses, so that students could see that these courses, identifying them, and the hope is that they would select them, because there are a number of faculty members, a number of instructors, I should say, who are very much on board with this. So while there's room for lots of improvement, we still have a lot of faculty instructors who are willing to take up this challenge. And the benefits for some of these instructors is that they get to customize what it is that they're presenting to students. And so it's a lot more relevant as opposed to just following a guideline that a textbook has put forth. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from students who have taken some of these courses, and both positive and negative, don't get me wrong, but the conversation has started. Lots of students are interested in learning more about OER, because the fact of the matter is they can also help to contribute to its content. It depends on how the class is put together, but in many institutions, students are also helping to develop some of the content for these OER. So it's an environment that is ripe for improvement and collaboration, and just a different way of getting the relevant information that you need for your courses in different formats as well. They're not necessarily in the formats of textbooks. We're talking videos, some interactive videos. Instructors can get very creative in the manner in which they present this material. And I encourage students to question and see or explore some of the OER courses that are out there already, and see if it's something that is worthwhile. Right now, our provost is a huge supporter of our current provost. I guess as of today, I think he departs today, has been a really strong proponent of this initiative. So it benefits. Its benefits actually are something that shouldn't be ignored at all, from administration, from instructors, and from the students as well. And those are my 5 cents.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And I definitely didn't know that much about OER prior to our conversations. just kind of heard about it in conversation and, you know, you've seen it on the website, things like that. But I think a lot of students are unaware of the benefits, and I was also unaware of this like global gatekeeping of knowledge and how it trickles right down to the student level. It's impacting us directly in the cost that we pay for our education. So I think that the OER initiative is very necessary. And like you said, there's always going to be room for improvement, but it's important that the conversation has begun.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think actually this, another way for students to get information regarding this as well, every year, well, since 2017, I have put on an open OER colloquium in the fall, in October. And we've had students, we've had faculty just basically sit on a panel and, you know, speak about their experiences, the challenges, the rewards, what improvements need to be made. Again, it's a relatively new movement, so feedback and conversations are very important to this in order for it to take shape and make it as beneficial to everyone as possible and everyone involved as possible. I think this year's colloquium, OER colloquium, will be via Zoom, of course, and it'll be, I believe, Wednesday, the 22nd of October from 12 to 1. And I will send promos out, et cetera, et cetera. But as the years have gone by, we're seeing a lot more students in the audience than we did the first time we started doing this. So I encourage students and faculty, staff, what have you, to jump on board and see what we're doing and how we all can benefit from this.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me and for discussing your position at Stony Brook and helping me get the word out to students about the things that you're doing behind the scenes that are helping us in our day-to-day as students.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for having me. Good luck with your project.